Welcome to Upskill PM channel, and today we're going to be building digital twin, your digital twin. So here's my Eunice bot. She is my CEO and she sends me top 5 priorities per day, as well as she manages my other bots and agents. And I get a morning brief every morning to know what to focus on. In my phone today, I have in Telegram Eunice, who is my CEO, Ben, who is executive assistant, and he is about to get more work today. And as well as in my notes, I get a weekly brief, while with Eunice, I have the top 5 things to focus on per day in Telegram. And they are connected between each other. So I can ask Eunice to execute on tasks, and she will delegate some of the tasks to my other AI agents or do it herself. Or she might tell me, no, this is not your priority because I know what's important for you since I gave it a brain. Now, here's where my Eunice sits. And she's the CEO. I have an executive assistant who I called Ben AI, and an AI marketing manager who is Marka. So far, Marka is only doing briefs, and I'm not touching videos. I have Tom right here, who is operations manager in Zapier and sitting in between different softwares. I have HR training and onboarding, who I need to fill this gap. And I am preparing several other positions. The newsletter generator plus email is also on marketing part. And here I also have underlined who is in charge of what, humans and AI assistants. Let's first identify what is digital twin and why you need it. Let's say you wake up in the morning and you are quickly bombarded by emails and distractions like Instagram or any other social media. You need to respond to some of your employees, whether it's posting on LinkedIn, or maybe you have some business where everybody needs a little bit of your attention. And here you go, your time in the morning is already gone to distractions. Now, digital twin is a version of you that will quickly respond to, first of all, the most usual questions so that you don't have to repeat yourself. Second piece is, what do you need to focus on? So in the morning, if you already have your digital twin, your AI agent set up, it will prioritize based on what you already know is important to you for the next 6 months or whatever the amount of time. So this is why I have a digital twin, to help me stay focused on the right things. I still make executions, I still make the decisions, but yet I just have it as a helping tool. And there's a million of different tools, and some of them suck and some of them are a little bit better. I have to point out the fact that it is not one done and you're good to go. You will have to, tweak it, change it. The platforms are different, the models change. So that's another pain point. We're figuring it out as we go. Hence, I'm sure in another 6 months, I will be having update videos of how to improve your digital twin. Let's point out that there's 4 different pieces that you need to build a digital twin. Why is digital twin, first of all? Well, when you wake up in the morning, you usually probably get distracted by social media, answering emails, and by 9 or 10 a.m., you already lost the attention, lost the focus, right? Here's what digital twin does. It sounds like you, it thinks like you, and it prioritizes based on what you told it is important to you. Anytime you talk with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, it knows portions of what you said before, especially if you break it down to projects, so it knows a little bit of context about you and your projects or your business. But the better way to do it is to actually have a specific AI agent, a digital twin, who would be dedicated to you, and so there's a memory storage specifically for that digital twin. Now, the caveat is that I'm working on my small language model version on my local host so that I don't have to depend on the big guys. And if it's turned down, I don't necessarily get affected. As you build your digital twin, that's the point. Every 2-3 months, you will want to keep improving it, and hence I will create other videos on that topic. So let's summarize. It sounds like you, it acts, not just answers, and it remembers. Those are the 3 main important things. Your digital twin will need 4 layers. It's the brain, the face, the memory, the storage, and the hands to actually execute. There are many different LLMs that you can be using, like Llama, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. But it's not necessarily right now about the tools. First, you need to understand why we're doing this and how it's built, right? What the system is. And then we can get into you choosing what works for you based on, what kind of tools you need, what kind of LLMs you need. I will be giving you my examples, why I chose what I chose and how I built it today. And I'm sure in a couple of months, it will be a very different, updated version, but the architecture is going to be the same. The face, the brain, the memory, the hands, those are the things you will need even in a year or 2 years. So the brain is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So this is where you take different data points, your documents, you feed it in to the system that you choose so that it knows you, it knows what to work on. And the brain does include an LLM or SLM that you choose, like how is it going to answer, which AI is it going to use, so that there's a lot of public knowledge plus your know-how or your specific personal information if you want to share that. The storage is where the knowledge lives, like these markdown files, the data points that I was mentioning, that is your memory, your storage. The face is where you interact. Is it going to be through chat, through a messaging system, through emails maybe? That is the face. This is where your digital twin is going to have interaction with you, telling you what it executed on, and you can tell it to execute on things through that system. Messages, chats, maybe it's a voice, maybe you call it, right? There are different options. And fourth is the hands. How does it execute? Now think about OpenClaw, think about Zapier, think about IronClaw. These are the hands. They make sure to execute on the tasks that were at hand. Now let's get to the next stage. Now this is time to choose different solutions, different tools, right? So for the brain, I chose to go with Claude mostly, but I use Gemini for research and writing PRs. I also use Gemini to generate visuals like thumbnails for my YouTube channel, etc. Now, since you're not working for Anthropic or other big companies with LLMs, you don't need to fine-tune the LLM. All you have to do is use the smaller version of LLM, or the one that is public, but then you are not fine-tuning, but you using RAG, you using different external documents, like you wrote down MD files, markdown files, right? And you can swap them. Every time a new model version comes out, actually Boris Cherny just mentioned that they have removed 80% of their prompts from the past and kind of start almost anew. And so what he's saying is that keeping the same prompts for a very long time actually degrades the quality of responses. So that's why they start anew. And so the prompt can be very limiting, while if you're just giving the LLM, giving your digital twin a structure, like this is how you should think, right? And not necessarily just do step 1, 2, 3, 4. You can give it a little bit more flexibility and give it direction of how you think and what's important and what to look for. This is more open for AI as it improves to also serve your needs. So what do you feed your AI brain? You can share the notes, different documents. You can share even videos and audio recordings for it to know better your voice, your way of thinking and what is important to keep. I know many people who are using chat conversations from Slack and they feed it into the LLM, or they add Claude into it and so allow it to track all that information. So just for your information, there are 3 different ways that you can go about it. You can buy versus build. First version is buy. You can use Claude Projects, Notebook LLM, hosted managed vector search. So it takes minutes to set it up, and you can build your easy, simple digital AI twin that is hosted there, right? It's not on your computer or anything like that. Second option is hybrid, which I think is the most optimal. You use Obsidian Vault plus Claude MCP. This way, you actually have something on your local machine and it's separated out from Claude. You own the files, hosted model does retrieval, and it's about a weekend to set it up. So this is best for privacy-conscious builders. And to build on your own is the most expensive and time-consuming, which is you want to have your self-hosted vector and you want to have full control of the pipeline plus prompts. You want the ongoing engineering, which means you are more tech savvy, and it is best for sensitive data and technical teams. Most of my audience goes for buy versus hybrid. And today we're focusing mostly on buy. In the next video on this topic of digital twin, I will be covering Obsidian Vault and other versions, how you can host most of it on your local machine. All right, so from this step, if we're going through buy and I use Claude, hence you can start with creating your own project here in Claude. The next step is storage. Think about it as, where do all these files live? Where do I keep all the documents? Should I just throw it into Claude? And that's one option, but it most likely will not remember everything that you have shared before, and it will get confused. Hence, that's why for this part of the layers for your digital twin, I suggest 3 different options. One option is Obsidian, as I mentioned, but that would be for the kind of the hybrid version. And Obsidian is a powerful, highly customizable note-taking and personal knowledge management app. And it is operating primarily on local plain text markdown files. So again, you can swap those files and it will be on your machine, much more safe. And of course, everything that is hosted on cloud, which all of it is, still always has some slight risk of, security breach. That is the risk that all companies have already taken in these days. Next option is GitHub. So this is version controlled home for the Vault, and you can have it as a private project and you can save all those documents there. Well, there's many more other versions and options out there. I go for Notion because it is well structured. It's a lot of text and I can put in the files that are video, audio, whatever I like, and it is very readable. It's easy. I share this Notion with my team of human supporters and team members, as well as with my AI agents. So this makes it much, much easier. Here's a folder structure for your twin to navigate easily. You start with the agents markdown, which is giving the rules of how this agent should operate. Then you go into the inbox and what is processed weekly, etc. Then the source, right? All these different documents that you want to dump in there, and you might also swap it from time to time. Curated wiki, that is the agent writes and maintains. The next one is projects, active work, 1 file per project. Just like in Claude, you see different projects. This is what we mean. We want to separate each one by topics so that don't get confused. You can also include a file of who is who. For me, in Notion, I have my team description, who is responsible for what. This way, when my digital twin talks to AI agents in my Telegram, and I'll get to it later, it knows who does what. as well as the humans. And then voice, the tone of the voice that this digital twin should have and should keep up with. And step 2, here, if you, for example, pick Notion, you want to create a document about you. You want to explain your goals, your major strengths and weaknesses. You want to describe everything about you, even your storyline, like where were you born, what it is that you're about, what is important to you, and then the 5 months or 6 months goals, the big life goals if you want, right? It becomes important for you to decide what kind of information you want your digital twin to know. And this file is important because it is basically about you and your digital twin. All right. Next step is the face. You have to choose the face of your digital twin. And so whether you choose a chat in which it's kind of a chatbot and you're talking through this chatbot with AI agent on the other side, and this is how you ask him or her to execute. I chose Telegram, and I also have a couple of other ones, but mostly my CEO sits in Telegram. And the face is the only part people are experiencing. This is where you tell your CEO, your digital twin, to execute. Some of the exercises, some of the ongoing tasks repeat, hence you don't have to tell it to do. For example, you don't have to tell your AI agent to send you a brief for each day or prioritize your to-dos for the day, because usually you create that as a workflow that is ongoing. You want to meet people where they already are. So for example, if you are sitting on Discord and maybe your clients are sitting on Discord, again, if it's your digital twin, will your digital twin talk to all these people? If that's the case, then you're looking for the platform where your audience sits. And if it's mostly for interaction between you and your digital twin, then yeah, you might want to have something one-on-one type of situation. Now let's talk about the hands. How will your AI agent execute on tasks that are given? For example, you start a conversation with your digital twin on Telegram. You ask about, the weather. You ask about what were the main plans for today. It will pull up the brief that usually is sent to you as a part of the workflow and remind you of your important things to do today. And then there are a couple of things that you might want your digital twin to do. And you say, hey, Eunice, my digital twin, write a draft of an email for person ABC who is on my list of to-dos today, and send it to me, or keep it in the draft on my Gmail account. And you can identify which Gmail account. In my case, my CEO has access to several Gmail accounts, but none of them are being sent automatically. The reason why I don't do that is because I've already tried that before with a less educated AI agent, and this AI agent kind of went off the grid and started proposing roadmap sessions and extra work that I didn't want to do. So remember, your twin works for you, not the other way around. That's why I keep it in draft mode. I want to see what it wrote, make sure it looks good. Okay, so the hands. A twin that can't act is just a very good chatbot. So your AI agent should be able to communicate, organize, schedule, and automate. Some of the tasks are being automated and done through Zapier because some Claude actions cannot be taken. And I have tried using MCP of Claude, but for example, connecting it with Telegram, I used Zapier to do that. And the main brain of my CEO today is used by Ironclaw. So as I mentioned, Ironclaw is built on Near protocol. It is decentralized, and I feel a bit more safe and secure about the information that I share. You can get it on GitHub, or you can just go on Ironclaw and you can download the version and then they are hosting it. So there's a simpler version or a harder version. My main CEO, Eunice, is built on Ironclaw, and she talks to me via Telegram. This is where I am comfortable, and I have extra chatbots doing other work. All right, there's a step 3 that I did not mention. In Claude, you can go to connectors. You can use MCP, but you can also add various platforms like Canva. If you add Canva, then some of the content you create with Claude, and then you still work on Canva, creating much better visuals. There's also Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Notion, whatever it is that you're using, you can connect to Claude. And of course, it depends on how much security you need. If it's for you and you have a small business, I think that's totally okay. And of course, based on your product and services. If you work for the bank, probably not the best idea. You just figure out yourself where you sit on security level. And I mentioned Ironclaw already. Zapier is my to-go because it's simple and I don't want to waste time resetting anything. I do know N8N is pretty powerful. It just requires a little bit more time to set things up. And once you've tried one thing that is working, we humans are lazy. So if you love N8N, tell me more. But for now, I'll just stick to Zapier, Claude, Ironclaw combination. All right, and I'm giving here an explanation of OpenClaw versus Ironclaw versus Claude Code based on the costs, and hence that's why I chose Ironclaw. And my system is right in here. Super simple. It is content that is needed for my digital twin to understand how to make decisions, what is the business about, what am I about, is all in Notion, connected to Claude. My brain is all the markdown files, all the documents, some of the communications, and it's connected to Telegram and WhatsApp. Mostly Telegram has several AI agents, WhatsApp has one so far, and my CEO, Eunice, sits on Telegram, along with, built on Ironclaw. And attach the hands. So whether you're using Ironclaw or Zapier, Claude MCP, I use all three, then that is how things are being done. Pull back. Okay, I realized that there's one more missing link that I have not shown. When you are connecting your Telegram bot with your CEO, whether it's sitting on Ironclaw or Claude, what you need to do is you need to create this bot on Telegram and then use the code that will be given to you. This is your API token. Don't show it to others. Copy that and give it to your Ironclaw as it figures out how to set it up, or to Claude. You basically don't need to really do much manual work, but give the keys so they can connect. If you would like a full breakdown in a YouTube video, let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next one.